Assalamu alaikum, family, peace, healing, and light. And welcome back to another episode of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things. When I say all things healing. And if you are new to the show, welcome, beautiful souls. On today's episode, we have an amazing brother here today. Brother Brandon X is joining us today as we'll be discussing today's topic, breaking the silence. Men's mental health matters. Brother Brandon, welcome and thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm doing good, sister. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Wa alaikum salam. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. Now, for those who may not know my brother, do you mind letting our audience know just a little bit more about you?
Born and raised in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm a criminal justice major from Virginia State University. I'm also a published author and mental health advocate.
Yes. I love it. Praise be to Allah. And I just want to give y'all a little announcement here. Now, I need y'all to interact today. Okay, we talk about men's mental health. Okay, this is something I need all the men's. If you got brothers, sons, uncles, nephews that's going through some things, send them this video, this episode, because this is going to be one to remember. Okay, all praises due to Allah. So let's get started on today's episode, breaking the silence. Men's mental health matters. And please, for my audience today, do not hesitate put any questions you may have for our guest, Brother Brandon X, in the comment box below. So, in a world where social norm often dictates that men should remain unresponsive and silent about their struggles, the issue of men's mental health has long been covered in silence. However, breaking the silence is crucial as it's increasingly evident that men's mental health matters just as much as anyone else. By addressing this taboo topic head on, we can start dismantling harmful stereotypes and create a supportive environment where men feel empowered to seek help and openly discuss their mental well being. This episode will set the stage for a deeper exploration into the unique challenges men face regarding mental health and the importance of breaking the silence surrounding this vital issue. So, Brother Brandon, this takes me to my first question for you.
Yeah.
Y'all got to excuse me. I can be a little goofy. So, now, I always say this. I always want to go get started back to the root of your journey. Like, what guided you on this journey of ministry and the desire to help men with their mental health?
When I had my first challenge with mental health, well, when my mental health was first challenged, I should say, in a severe way, and when I was in college, at Virginia State back in spring of 2004, after consuming a spiked drink and having, erratic manic behavior and my mind being altered and being rushed to the hospital. After clearing my head up in therapy and medication at the time, after going through that trial and that test, and at the time, after giving myself to the Lord in '06, I said, one day I'm going to write a book to share my testimony with the intention to inspire men, especially men, to go to therapy, because I realized how helpful it was, and I realized how important it
Oh,
was.
here.
Say it again.
Hey, Brother Brandon,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay, so it was a lag on my end and you completely like went out. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure that probably happened, as far as like the audience couldn't really hear what you said. Did you see that lag or
No, I
did
didn't.
you? Oh, okay. Y'all gotta let me know if y'all seen a lag because I don't want my brother repeating himself because I didn't hear nothing he said.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing you said. So, but it's okay. Okay, y'all heard them. Okay, cool. As long as they heard you.
Oh,
I know I was having issues going on with my connection just at this moment. But you can continue.
so yeah, after realizing how important therapy and the medication was, I was telling God, I'm gonna write a book one day and share my testimony. And in being transparent and sharing my testimony, I realized it was helping not only myself, but it was helping men in my community and women and children. And that led me up until 2017, where I wrote and published Madness to Ministry. And here I am now.
Wow, wow. Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Oh my gosh, I kind of want you to kind of repeat what you said because I'm like really didn't hear everything that you
That's no
said. I'm
problem.
why they doing it? They hating on us today. They don't want you to get this message out.
Yes, man.
Yeah, give me a moment. Okay, so can y'all see me moving? Y'all hear me? I need y'all to let me know in the comment box.
I could see.
You can see me and hear me?
At first, you were still, but now I can see you and hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue. But praise be to Allah, brother. Thank you so much for that. I did hear some of it, but not all of it. I'm not gonna lie. But you talked about just basically you going through your own experience, which kind of led you to, being able to share your testimony and seeing how much, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought okay. Seeing how much that affected you and see how that was going to be able to, you know, bridge that gap between men and mental health. So my next question would be is what social factors contributes to the stigma surrounding mental health, men's mental health?
I'll say first, just just the ignorance of mental health awareness and mindfulness and social emotional learning. Just ignorance. If you haven't taken the time to study it and really be transparent with yourself, when you see somebody going through it, you say, "Oh, all that that N word drunk, or he high, or that's just him. That's just what he do." Or
Mm-hmm.
the most common one, "Oh, that N word crazy." Um, so I think that, especially in our community, we haven't really. It's getting better now in the past few years, but when I was going through it, you couldn't come on the block talking about you going to therapy, or you taking medication, or
Mm-hmm.
it was more like, man, toughen up. You're gonna be outside, toughen up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ignorance and the lack of uh, compassion. Like, because once you start studying it, you have more compassion to someone you see spiraling or going through it, or might be depressed or dealing with anxiety or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the main one.
Exactly. It kind of takes me back to, um, I always say back in the day, I'm not old, but um, it would be this thing to where, you know, younger boys, were taught to, I would say, not express their emotions and, um, like you said, toughen up, like, but going as a child grows older, you can kind of see how that kind of affects it actually has when he grows older and become an adult because I really really stand strong with just being able to mold that child when they're at that younger state, and the way that guide that child is kind of how they'll be raised up. So what's your thoughts on I want to say parenting young men when it comes to handling their emotions,
It's a great question because I am a father of two boys, 8 and 7. In the same way you and I having a dialogue about mental health awareness and ways to eradicate stigma surrounding mental illness is the same way I talk to my children. You know, when they get upset or they frustrated or whatever, I ask why you feel that way? What happened? Talk to me about how you feeling. And we got this thing between us three, my two boys and I. Yeah, you need some time to go process your thoughts, and they'll say yeah, and I'll let them go in their room or go in the basement or go outside. In a few minutes after they take that time to process their thoughts, we come back like men and sit at the table and say, oh, okay, so you was
Yeah.
feeling because that, or daddy said this, because you got to admit as a parent when you're wrong, or your brother did this, or this happened at school, and help them to connect those thoughts versus just toughen up, stop being a punk, or punch him in the chest a little bit. So
Hmm.
I use the same language. I use the knowledge I have now to educate them the same way my father did to
Hmm.
help through those dark times.
Mm.
I think,
And that, mm-hmm.
yeah, I think open conversation, transparency, and the knowledge that we have as adults, kids could soak that up. If we could teach our kids Arabic or Spanish or math and science, we could teach them social emotional learning. We could teach them coping skills. We don't have to talk baby talk to our children.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe that is so important, especially in the time that we're in now. Um, we see a lot of hidden agenda, especially on the black men right now, and how much they're going through in general, and us not actually having, unfortunately, we don't see a lot of, I want to say, stable men a
Hmm.
lot, as far as being able to help the younger men to be able to handle their emotions, because most men wasn't taught how to handle their emotions. They wasn't taught how to be able to express their emotions. And I definitely love the fact that how you said, you don't baby talk your children. You talk to them, you know you talk to them like humans. You talk to them like, hey, like, listen, and that's funny you said I do that to my son. Now, I'm a boy mom
Yeah,
over here. I have a 3-year-old, and this boy, he be having a little attitude. And I let him. I said, listen, you can have your little. You can. I'm gonna give you some time, and then when you ready, you can come out. Like
yeah,
he will run, go shut the door, and I'm like, okay, when
yeah,
you ready to come out, I'll talk to you then. And then, because I also think about just how much stressful it even is on us as parents to even try to force a conversation with them or force it on them to express themselves. I think as long as we open the door like you do with your children, with
yeah.
your two boys, to just open the door and let them know, like, hey, I'm here if you need to talk. And when you're ready to talk, I'm ready to listen. And that's why it's so important for us to be attentive to our children, because I believe that that's when they'll be able to build up this trust and being able to express themselves, because it's just so much that you know children, and more so black little boys are facing now more than ever. So I love the connection that you're sharing about you and your children and your boys, and how you guys handle working out the emotions. So praise be to Allah.
Yes, sister.
Yes. So my next question is, how can we, I really want to say women.
Hmm.
How can women encourage men to open up about their mental health struggles and seek support? What's your thoughts on that?
I think I think the best angle for women to take, if as it relates to their husbands or children's father or brothers or just a male friend, to and I heard Brother Nuri Muhammad say this on the Nick Cannon show, to pair them up with somebody who has dealt with or is dealing with but striving to get out of the same thing they're going through.
Hmm.
Somebody that's, like with me, I use myself for example, in the love kingdom. just straight talk, transparency, straight talk. We're not talking keys to success. We're not using big fancy words. We talking, as if we sitting in the park having a beer. We're not doing that, but for the, have a picture, but
Yeah.
talking man to man, like, yo, how you feeling? This and that. I think conversations like this, your platform, where men make themselves accessible and they're vulnerable with their own struggles and challenges. I think women should say, "Hey, I'm gonna tag you on this brother thing, DM him, or if they're not on social media, let me introduce you to so and so. I want to connect y'all to, and let that, because with men it has to happen genuinely,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you gotta as a woman, you have to be mindful of how you how you're introducing this relationship to this other man. Oh, you can't, don't go and, oh, you should talk to him because you always drunk, or you always, you just can't get it right. You
Mm,
into it that, because mental health is, you don't want to trigger that man. He's
right.
striving, even when he's drinking a beer or smoking, he's striving. He just need better tools to strive. And
Mm-hmm.
stuff, he need to be in a healthier environment to continue to strive. So I think for women, man, it's yeah, let me tag you. Let me introduce you to this brother, and give the brother that you introducing, the person who needs it, a heads up. Say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I want you to meet this because he's dealing with X, Y, and Z. And for me, I get a lot of that, especially in the city of Hartford. And when I talk to the other brother on the receiving end, I don't say anything about mental health. I don't say nothing about social, emotional learning, none of that. Hey, what's up, man? What you doing, man? Oh, you like them Lakers, man? Them bum Lakers, man. Them Lakers. I just talk about sports. I make the connection to something that they like.
Yeah.
Sit down eye to eye, and then gradually, get into, the root. Um, and I have men like with the Love Kingdom. I have other men around me that's trained in youth and adult mental health first aid. So when that relationship gets to that point, they could begin to pour into them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that's the best thing for women, making that connection with other men.
I agree with that as well, especially if, there is women out here, even if you're in a relationship or not, if you see, or personally a black man that may be struggling, offer resources for them. If it's people, if it's, places they can go, somewhere where they can actually have a safe space. But it also makes me think about how important it is that, this also, to me, I feel like this also stems down to the um the relationship between a black man and a black woman. How
Absolutely.
it's so important that we fix that dynamic, because it's something in a woman, naturally, that she does, to a man, that I believe can allow him to open up and, be a safe haven for him when he's going through things, physically, mentally, spiritually. So also, I believe as a woman, to also understand who you are and see the gifts that you have to be able to help that black man be able to um, open up mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever, depending on the case. And
Yeah.
also being able to, I would say, and I ain't gonna lie, the minister told us to.
I was just about to say, go
What,
ahead.
what, what you about to say? Cause
I, I was thinking the minister said, truth be told, well, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting,
okay,
just haven't been diagnosed yet.
there you go.
Yeah. Oh, so wait, so that's what you was about.
No, no, I wasn't gonna say
Oh,
that, but I was gonna say something that we often do as women.
oh, okay.
The minister told us we got to work on our mouths,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah. 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 I be tripping sometimes. Yeah.
our we can sting. Ow, woo,
Yeah.
our words can be woo.
Absolutely.
So being able to encourage that man, even if he's not able to actually express his emotions to you in a way that you want it to be expressed.
Right.
You know, it's always power in the word, in the way that you say things. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so we was still there though. You see how, of course, he had to bring medicine in this because, listen,
But
so
now it's powerful you said that, sister, because in my book, I write about my mother. You,
yeah,
you know, I was going through all kinds of being restrained and being in the psych ward and, you know, drunk and just turned into sex. I was just in a mess.
hmm
My mother at one point, she just calmly said, "Brandon, you're not crazy. You just got to take care of yourself." And she just took her hands off it. And like right after that, I remember going to see my boy in college because I had to take 2 years off from college. Had to take a medical leave. I remember just staying the night with him and just putting myself back in that college environment.
hmm
Right after that, I gave myself to the Lord, June 28th, 06. And that process started the expedite of healing. Um,
hmm
time from a, like you said, a black woman. It could be a mother, an aunt, a wife, the mother of your children, just a female friend. That gentle, subtle reminder that no, you're not crazy.
yeah,
You're going through something. You need to take care of yourself, and just leave it alone. Let that settle in that man. Sometimes, you know, in my experience, the women I have dealt with in the past, sometimes you want to kind of force feed it. Some men not, and women by nature, women are full of subtleties, and that,
mm,
like you said, as women get to know themselves better and recognize, you know, their own flaws and stuff like that, they'll just drop subtleties and just leave it alone.
mm,
Sometimes, especially with mental health, and I know for me personally,
mm,
going through it, the less you say to me, the more.
mm.
You know, sometimes everybody want to be a therapist, everybody want to be Minister Farrakhan, everybody just want to dump on you.
Yeah, hmm
You know, the person, you know, I use myself. If I'm going through, I'm not processing all of that. So say less to me and show me. So yeah,
oh yeah, okay, yeah, show me.
yeah,
And that's I, you know, and that still goes into just how powerful, even though the word is, just as far as like, you know, you know, certain words speak life.
yeah,
So if the woman can, you know, it's just, you know, I just think that we're all just out of our own roles as men and women in general, so we're kind of like off balance. So it's just kind of like a, it's
it's
like,
Royal Rumble out here, sister.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Talk Rose is woo. Yeah,
Whew.
yeah.
It's
We gotta know our roles in order to get back to it. And the minister, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, my favorite lecture from him, "What's Your Role?" addressed to the married couples.
hmm
I wish I watched that before my first marriage because it's simple, but it's deep,
yes,
clear, and it's precise. And once you got two that master those his role and a woman that master her role, it just makes things less heavy, less challenging. You know, because you know you recognize you got these flaws, he recognized he got these flaws, and y'all both striving. Y'all like, you know what? Let me just cover you, but let's
exactly.
other as we continue to grow through this, especially mental health, man. Because I mean, like I said, the minister said we are, you know, we are a little off, but once we accept that, you know, with a smile on our face and say, you know what, I am off in this area, and she says I am off, and then collectively we start to grow and mature and heal. That's set a high example for other people.
mm,
You say, look at that couple, man. You know, they both millionaires, but they said, man, they off too. And I think the more vulnerable we are in sharing our stories as men and as couples, it's like a domino effect.
hmm
Like a domino effect, you know.
And you know what just came up in my mind? I want to ask you this question.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say my little small little break, but this question has came up in my mind. You know what? I'm gonna wait because I don't want this question to get out my head.
Okay.
Something just came up. So it just makes me think about, he said, the minister said, we got a little tweaking. Well, we got some tweaking to do.
We,
All of us got some tweaking to do. So it just all goes back into just history and what the men had to go through.
mm-hmm.
And you also spoke on the fact of how it's so important to obtain the knowledge of mental health so you can have a better understanding of it. So
Mm-hmm.
my question is though, how is understanding the history of the Black man and what the Black man has went through, how can that encourage the way that people respond to men's mental health?
I think by knowing the history or yeah, knowing the history and taking time to study it, it gives the person that's going through it and the person that's dealing with the person that's going through it. It gives the student and the teacher grace. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Shit, you got 400 plus years of this. It has been passed down and this and that. And like, man, I don't blame you for having a beer. You know what I mean? It gives you some. It brings humanity to that person.
Yes.
As soon as somebody going through it, the first that N word crazy or that be she crazy. So we take away the humanity from the person.
Mm.
They kind of know your history, know why and understand why. On top of know how to heal and take having coping skills in your back.
Uh-oh. I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, why they hating on us today? Can you hear me, Brandon? Can you hear me? No, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Lord, Lord, Lord. Can you hear me? You probably can't hear me. Hold on, wait. All right, let me know if you guys can hear us. Let me know if y'all can hear or you can hear me. No, we were having some technical difficulties. Why they hating on us today, y'all? They doing it today. Let me know if y'all can hear me though. I want to make sure we can hear each other. Let me see.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yep.
Woo! Praise be to Allah. See, I'm like, they hating on us today, Brandon. Why they doing that?
Be mad, man.
Oh, they mad. They don't want the
Can't
Black men to rise up. You know that.
can't stop the sun from shining.
Okay. Yes. Darn. I don't know if you was ending what you were saying, but
Yeah.
like,
Basically, I was saying, when you study the history, you have a better understanding. You have a softer heart as you deal with somebody who's going through it, and you look at that person as a human. Because as soon as somebody spiral or they have a moment, oh, that N word crazy, that be this and that, you look at them, you identify them by what you call a mental illness, even though you ain't got no knowledge, no training. You just say, oh, that you just automatically write them off.
mm-hmm.
Humanity. So, yeah.
And that takes me back to, wow, Closing the Gap was so powerful as far as the book. Oh
Mm.
my God. It takes me back to just us not being so quick to judge, especially when, I believe we're all in this transition period in our lives, So being not being so judgmental, we can cause judgment, when it's not even necessary.
Ab-
You don't know what's going on with this person. You don't know where they at, and you may end up messing up their transition just because you're judging them of where they're at.
yeah, and sometimes this is you might be hurting them thinking you helping them. Sometimes when somebody going through it, just listen to what they telling you. Because you on the outside looking, and it's easy to let's think about boxing. It's easy to be on the outside of the ring saying throw a jab, throw a uppercut, do this, do that. But when you in there and you getting hit, you are hitting back. Sometimes just listening. Sometimes just listen to what that person is saying. Long
Mm-hmm.
as that person's in a safe environment, they're not hurting nobody, they're not hurting themselves. Let them have their moment. Let them
Yeah.
and
Oh my.
just sit there with them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
When they come back grounded and baseline, you had said this, or you said something about what happened in your past. Let's talk about that. Let's go grab some lunch. Let's talk about that. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. Sometimes it's just good to just be a open ear to listen.
absolutely.
Oh, like you said, sometimes you don't even have to talk much.
Yeah, because think about this, sister. If because we like to put the mental health over here and the physical health over here. So let's think about if you had a broke ankle, I'm not gonna get mad at you because you can't come work out with me. You can't come to the park and walk around. Your ankle broke or your ankle fractured. So a lot of times, what I experienced, people who thought they was helping me, if my mind is fractured, if I got a hiccup of the mind or a cough of the mind, don't get mad at me because I'm not responding how you want me to respond, or it's taking too long as you would like it. We gotta keep that in mind. Like, and at the same token, if you're going through it, don't. I tell men especially and women, if you had a broke ankle, you're not gonna go to the hospital.
Mm,
You're not gonna go take those pain meds or you get the cast on your foot. So why wouldn't you go to therapy? And if you need it, why wouldn't you take your medication?
mm,
A lot of people say, "Oh, that white man meds, this and that." Shit, you drinking the white man's food? You eating the white man's food? Or when they get into that, like if you diabetic, like you taking the white man's diabetic medicine, like so we got to get this black white thing out of our head and take care of ourselves. Let Allah deal with all that other stuff. You take care of yourself, and Allah will, carry you, along the way. But if you're just sitting there, I ain't going to therapy. I ain't taking no meds, and you just sitting there, Allah gonna let you sit right there.
mm-hmm,
So we gotta, like the Bible said, we gotta make up our bed and carry our cross.
mm-hmm.
Got to take care of ourselves. It's no way around it. Even believers, I tell believers like, yo, yeah, we in the nation, we got supreme wisdom, we got some heavy stuff. That don't negate the inner work we got to do though.
Exactly.
That does not negate the inner work. You can speak Arabic and sound fancy, and that's great. Praise be to Allah. Don't neglect that inner work. It's no running. It's no running from it.
I love that. I love that. It just took me to also men implementing, men, I know we say this a lot for women, but men also implementing self love,
Absolutely,
self care.
absolutely.
So I want to actually get into that. But if you all are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, I just want to say thank you guys for hanging in with us. We was having some technical difficulties. Y'all know how it be. So, but if you guys are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, please, please, please show your support. I'm getting tongue tied. Show your support by donating today by texting the word donate right here on your screen, 937-313-2466. And if you are enjoying all of the episodes here on Closing the Gap broadcast, we have some new shows on the broadcast as well. Praise be to Allah. Please show your support as well. Information to donate is also going down your screen below. I love you all. Now let's get back to today's episode. Break the silence. Men's mental health matters with Brandon X. So I hope we don't have any no more interruptions because I do not like that I didn't hear you. So, but my next question for you is I wanted to kind of go back to the self love aspect for men
Hmm.
because we hear it a lot for women, you know, and I'm not a man, and I don't know and understand as far as what a man goes through. However, it's more readily available as far as like things for men, things for women to do, so as far as like self care. But I just want to know your thoughts on why is it also important that men also display self love and self care for them when they're going through any mental health issues.
Hmm. Um, One, because we men, we have to get out of this "I'm a man, I'm macho." Yes, you are a man. You have the male instrument, but you also have the X and Y chromosome. So
Mm,
you have to get into that softer side, if you will. You have to like sit in your mess and really like analyze yourself and analyze your whole self. You got to get to know yourself as a man, like both sides. Like, if you like R&B music, listen to some R&B music. If you like painting, like you got to get into that. You can't be on 1,000 out here in the hood every day. You have to embrace your whole self. And our sister Mina, you had on, she has a painting called Femininity. And when I purchased that painting at the time, I was in it. And when she told me the history of the painting and where she was at when she was painting it, I said, "Wow." I wish I had a picture to show you, but the character in the picture, she's looking at these dark feathers, like that trauma, that pain, those broken nights, or those crazy nights, and
mhm,
simultaneously the colorful feathers are coming out. So as we heal, Allah's blessing us, and we don't even know, we don't even see it.
mm,
We gotta go through that dark time, and for our lives to change. And going through it, you'll learn yourself. I never knew, like, brother Brandon X from the hood, and being a star football player, that I would enjoy painting. I actually enjoy painting now. It helps me think, it helps me process. I enjoy getting manicures and pedicures. You could think something sweet if you want to run up and get done up. I enjoy that stuff. That's self love. I'm taking care of
yeah.
my massages. I walk around barefoot. If I'm working out outside, you'll see me hugging trees. People think, "Why are you hugging a tree? Oh, you crazy?" That's your. I'm in peace.
Mm-hmm.
We got to take that time of solitude. Men, we always, we got to have some women around. We got to have some drinks. We got to have the fellas, the bros. Like we never just sit down and just sit in it.
Mm,
It's ugly, whatever. Like the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said, don't run from the mirror of truth. But once you sit in it, God can really deal with the person, the real person, not the person we portray on social media or in front of our boys or in front of our wives or girlfriends. But we got to sit in it, and you will find ways to love on yourself. It's not a one size fits all. So for me, I found out that I love painting. I always loved dancing, like Dancing with the Stars. I, fo- I found out that I love jazz. Like you get a chance to reinvent yourself.
mm-hmm.
So men, we gotta. But you'll never know if you always doing the same thing in the same environment, listen to the same song, dealing with the same vices. You have to get a, get away from that. Um, and if Allah has called you to do something, He gonna deal with you. He gonna sit you down.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't want Allah to sit you down. You better, sometimes it's best to sit down yourself, because when Allah get the whipping on you, you know, yeah, you'll think you're being chastised. You're really not being chastised. He loves you. He wants to use you for a specific reason that you've been running away from. Um, and like Scripture says, His will is gonna be done. So either
Mm.
way, sit down. You might as well do it yourself.
Oh, yes. And I'm glad that you said that. Like, you basically, really broke down just some things that you had learned just being in solitude. And
Absolutely.
it's kind of like, because we live in such a busy world, we wake up already got something on our mind to do. We're really operating like robots, to where it's kind of like, hold on, wait, who am I? I
Mm,
feel like it's so many people trying to figure out, who am I?
mm,
Like, what do I like? What do I want to do?
yeah.
And it's that moment when you are sitting with yourself,
Yeah.
you're able to, be in that solitude and know who you are, and also be able to find things that enhances your love for yourself. Like, manicure, pedicure. I don't think nothing's wrong with a man getting that, you know.
You know how it is in the hood.
Yeah, but that's the stereotyping right there, like, black men, you don't see black men getting this done. You don't see men taking care of themselves in their aspect, hugging trees and grounding. It comes off like, oh, that's weird. Like, why are but it's really not weird. And it also makes me think about us just the things that we say is weird. Like, is it really weird, or is it that we've been operating other than ourselves for so long that
Absolutely.
we don't even know that what we're doing is actually is actually weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! That's
It's
you think
important. And I tell the men I deal with, especially, coping skills, like, you have to put them in your toolbox. You might not work out today. All right, so let's pick up journals, write down what you're feeling, or let's go for a walk. Like, you want to fill up your toolbox with several different coping skills. You want to have those environments that you go to that's safe and structured. Um, so when life hits, or when you need that, just like you need, or some people think they need that drink or that smoke. When life hits, you pull out, you go in your tool bag and you pull out what you need. I feel like going for a walk today. You know what? I'm gonna sit in total silence when I'm driving to and from work, or I'm gonna read more. Like, you just you want to fill up your toolbox with those things that you need, and
mm,
have those, like have those environments that you go to. Like, if you want to socialize, all right, let me see what my brother's doing tonight. You want to have like a battle plan. You want to have like a structured battle plan, if you will, because
yeah.
it's nonstop. You might have conquered this, but the top of one mountain is just the bottom of the next. So you want to be prepared. You always want to be prepared. You always want to stay grounded and have that goal in mind. A man without a vision shall perish. Like, have that goal, work towards that, have those coping skills. If you're a believer, we got these teachings. Definitely hold on to that. Attend your meetings, and just keep being an example. Keep going, not just going through things, but also growing through things.
Exactly. Ooh, wow. And I had, as you're talking, a lot is sending me downloads,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, and it just went out of my head. No. But oh, I think I remember. Okay. So, with just having, because it makes me also think about us also uh keeping that armor of God on, you know, when we're going out in this world, and you saying like having that tool bag with you, because you listen, we in this world every day fighting for something. Black men especially, they coming hard,
Mm-hmm.
really. And we can talk about that real quick too, but
All right, let's talk about it.
because that just made me think about how much they're trying to, you know desensitize the man, and making them more feminine, and it's so much
Yeah.
war that's going on and attack going on the black man in general. So that's why I believe, you're saying how important it is to keep that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Like I went out.
Yeah, I hear you.
Keep that that's them tools, so it makes me go back to think also when you said that it was when you gave yourself to God that
Mm-hmm.
you took off running and was able to come to a sense of self. So
Absolutely.
how important is it that men in general build their connection with God in order to help them on their
Oh
mental
man,
health journey?
that is, if you don't build your relationship with Allah, where He says, "Come before Me boldness, confess our sins with truth and love." If you don't go to Allah, I don't know how people do it without God in their lives. So it's vital that we come to Allah first and say, you know what, God, I'm I need help, and trust that He hears us when we pray, and trust that when we meet somebody that's trying to help us, that's Allah working on our behalf. We're doing the work, but Allah's like He's smoothing it out for us. He's making the connections for us. A lot of times with us, especially men, and men don't like what I'm about to say. We more emotional than women. Men are more emotional than women. The first time you call a man out on something, what you talking about? What you saying? Like, we ready to get it on. I'm like, bro, all I said was just untied, bro. Like, so, and when I joined the nation in 2021, I'm sorry, in 2020, and I heard this quote by my brother Amir: "Learn to rise above emotion into the thinking of God." And he went into detail what that meant. I was like, wow.
Hmm.
I was like, wow. And that was my introduction to the nation. July 15th, 2020 is when I submitted to the teachings. Um, because I never heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, rise above your emotions. Are you happy? You angry? You frustrated? Rise above all of that into the thinking of God, and you will continue to rise into a God. But a lot of times, sister, our men, we we emotional. And if you're a woman talking to a man, good luck. Why are you nagging me? Why you keep nagging me? Why you keep bothering me? Brother, she might be trying to help you, get up. Like, you think you winning now, but she sees something that can have you up five times, and half the time it would take you to be up.
Mm.
If that makes sense. Like, a woman, when a woman is knocking on your door and she's saying something and she repeating it, she either got revelation from God, or it just, she sees that you don't see. But since we walk on this lower emotional state as men, we ignore it. We miss out on our blessings. And it could be your wife, or it could just be a female friend that's trying to put you on to something. So yeah, I know I kind of rambled, but yeah, we
No, I'm
have
glad you.
we have to rise above that emotion. Um, I mean, just think about in the streets. I know here in Hartford, people dropping like flies, and you ask them what happened. Oh, he texted my guard. He looked at me wrong. So you let that small emotion make you pull a trigger and take a life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
that's why, is I tell men and women, it's vital not to have yes men around you. I intentionally surround myself with people that's almost put their hands on me if they have to, for me to get it right. I don't
Mm.
need all my jokes. I don't need you patting my now. That's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that just coming up in the hood. Yeah. So what the Bible says, sister, faithful are the wounds of a friend. Kisses
Mm.
of are deceitful. You know. I got people, I'm on my workout plan now, but man, Brandon, you fat. You need to get in shape. You know what? I need to hear that. Let me get my butt in the gym. You gotta take stuff on the chin, pause, and be a man and just listen. Like they might be telling you something that's gonna help you.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we're in a sensitive society, man. And that goes back to, men being desensitized, being soft, you know, we born with the XY, but it's like we got the ladder. Like we got all ladder. Like you can't be, you know, your woman go off on you and you go off on her. You trying to measure up, like, bro, like just take low and listen. Just take it
Mm-hmm.
pause. Just listen to what she's saying. Be a man and just listen. And I know for me in my first marriage, my ex-wife, she used to tell me things, and that thing used to sting. But I stood in there like a man, and I said, you know what? I do need to get my finances right. And as I started listening to her, as bad as it used to cut, and that thing cut when a woman get cutting on you, I started to see an increase in my finances, increase in my credit. End up buying a house, end up starting a few businesses. So you got to be a man, man. You got to be a man. And this is the things we do in the Love Kingdom. Straight talk. We're gonna let you get it off your chest a few times. After that, we don't want to hear that no more. Let's work out a plan. Let's work the vision. Let's write the plan like the Bible say and make it plain and work.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, my father, sister, and my OGs in the hood, my lieutenant, my captain. Straight talk. We ain't got time to be. No, you hurt my feelings. It probably did hurt your feelings, but listen to what they're telling you. Is only gonna help you. Yeah, I'm very hard on men, sister. I could be a drill sergeant.
Uh-oh. But how does that balance out, men with like real mental health issues? Because but then again, I guess that goes back to just, men being desensitized and can't take certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you kind of how would you balance that? Because some men may not, because they're going through something mentally. Do you just, it makes me think, like, do you just operate based off that person? Like, depending on how that person is coming, you based on how to
Yeah,
respond
absolutely.
to them.
Yeah, so it
Mm-hmm.
depends where that person at with it. If they really into it, you're not gonna dump on them, but you are gonna be direct. Like you almost have to trigger men. You have to almost make them mad at you, not to beat them up or anything, but you got to get to the core of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in the hood. People, we sit around, we drink. Oh man, the white man. Man, I don't want to keep hearing that. Man, what's good with you, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Mad because you got this going on. All right. So what you gonna do? You gonna keep complaining about it? Like we just gonna sit here and drink all day, or we trying to do something? We you got to come at like that with men. But you have to be skillful and trained and taught how to do that. Otherwise, you mess around and start a fight.
Whew.
And what helps me, praise be to Allah, is I'm very transparent with my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So by doing that, I could come a little harder at men than the average person can, because the average person, they gonna tell you something they read in their book. I'm gonna
Yeah.
lived, and we're gonna do it in private too. I think you had made a post about covering people, dealing with people in private. So you're not trying to out nobody, but you are trying to get to the core and walk gradually with that person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We got to be able to get to the root of the issue, because we
That's,
try to cover it up by talking about what the white man doing, or
yeah.
things that really don't really, I mean, it matters, but it don't, because at the end of the day, we still have that internal work that
Mm.
needs to be done. So praise be to Allah. I do see here, before we end the show, I do see huh. I do see here that we have a question.
Oh, okay. We got some questions. Praise be
Yeah,
to
we finally got a question, y'all. Listen, I'm gonna get on y'all. Y'all better send me
God.
some questions. Don't be trying to make me think of everything, y'all. Come on, y'all help me out. We in this together. Okay, healing with Angelica. Y'all with me? Okay. So I see here, Sister Fatima Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Brandon. Please explain, why is it necessary for us to take chastisement from Allah?
Oh, okay. Well, we know Allah ordained struggle. It's coming. He ordained it, and it's important that we endure that, to prove to ourselves, that we do indeed believe and follow Allah's plan, Allah's mission, and that we are willing to grow. We are willing to continue to walk with Him. Because if we don't accept the challenge, like, all right, you really don't believe. Then, if you know this is coming from me, I'm not gonna hurt you. I just need you to endure and carry out that faith,
Mm-hmm.
belief in me, and more importantly, in yourself. You can't believe in Allah and don't believe in yourself. That's why I think it's important. We know what's coming. Let's endure, um, and let's like we accepted the challenge of the mission of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So let's continue that uphill battle. That's why I think it's important to prove our faith to Him,
Mm-hmm.
and to improve our faith to Him and prove our faith to ourselves. Okay, there's no ducking it.
Absolutely, especially I would say, because we're naturally made to be righteous. We're righteous individuals, and
Yeah,
when we're falling off the core.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and trials establish truth within us.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment we get to that truth, we be like, oh, this is the area I need to grow, and maybe Allah can lighten my burden. Like when I recognize that. So struggles, trials, challenges, no matter how filthy and ugly it is necessary to establish that truth within us. You can't be no liar and walk with Allah. So He hit you with these trials. He's trying to establish something within you. So yes, thank you, Sister Fatima, for that
Yes,
question.
yes. Thank you for that question. That was such a beautiful question. Thank you so much. And oh my God, Brother Brandon, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Praise
Oh,
be.
wait, before we close, we're gonna talk about this at the end. But Brother Brandon, I just want to say thank you so very much for joining me today to discuss this very important topic: breaking the silence, men's mental health matters. I would also like to thank my amazing audience and Healing Tribe for joining us today. I pray that this episode was informative, valuable, and healing for you all. Also, be sure to share, like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes on any of your favorite podcast station. Closing the Gap broadcast on Facebook, CTG broadcast on YouTube, and of course, Healing with Angelica podcast on Facebook and YouTube to help get this message of healing spread to those in need. Also, if you are ready to start your healing journey and don't know where to start, Healing with Angelica is here to assist. Get started today on your healing journey by texting the word ready to 937-313-2466. Information to do that will be shown right there on your screen below. So definitely make sure you take this opportunity to do that, because we're in this journey of healing and we need to go ahead and start that. Also, my Healing Tribe. I know it's getting warm out, but I have Healing Tribe merch. So definitely, if you guys are interested and wanting to support Healing with Angelica, check out our Healing Tribe merch, and you can definitely. Oh, look what we got there. We got Brother Brandon there. See, he's supporting. Praise be to Allah. Healing Tribe merch. If you're interested in the merch and would like to support, please text the word tribe to 937-313-2466. Yep, that's my mama right there. Yep. And also, you guys, just a friendly reminder that any purchases that you make is to help to to sustain and support Healing with Angelica. So please keep that in mind. Also, if anyone you know or yourself is in need of prayer, Healing with Angelica is here to send you a prayer. I definitely believe that when more than one person prays, it's a different type of energy. So if you know anyone or yourself is in need in prayer, please text the word prayer to 937-313-2466. Brother Brandon, before we end today's show, do you have any closing remarks for our audience today?
Man, know that you're human. Know that Allah loves you, regardless of if you have a mental illness or if you deal with someone with a mental illness. Allah loves that person. Now it's time for you to love on you.
Mm.
You are a human. You are a God. So teaches the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we're reminded of that in the Bible, Psalms 82, verse 6, that ye are gods. So act like it, think like it, and continue to be great.
I love that. Praise be to Allah. And if you don't mind letting us know where our audience can follow you and find you, and also about this book here, Madness to Ministry.
Madness to Ministry. First, you can go on the website, www.da7ovekingdom.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Brandon Gardiner. That's Gardener. Brother Brandon X in parentheses. And you can follow our nonprofit, The Love Kingdom, at DA7OVE Kingdom on Instagram.
Yes, yes. Praise be to Allah. I just want to say thank you again for joining us today. This was such a beautiful conversation. Very well needed. Oh my gosh. So thank you so much. And I want to thank my audience again for joining us. I really, really, truly love you all. And we'll see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, healing, and light.
Sister, thank you for having me.
Thank you.